Wake up, Jacob, Israelite Prepper. Listen, I'm going to talk about something, and it's probably going to ruffle some feathers. Probably going to make some people upset, or they're just not going to get it. They're not going to grasp it. But I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. And it has to do with split loyalties. Now, what I mean by that is when a man, takes a wife, it behooves her for the success of the relationship that she assimilates to him. So submit, assimilate, stuff like that. Now, there's been many conversations about, women coming into relationships and wanting to be covered and stuff like that. And it's like, what about single mothers? And sometimes I guess they're made out to be as though they don't have value or something like that, or even women that were a little bit older, and it could be 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, and they desire to be covered. Is there any value? And of course, I contend that there is some value. Okay, there is value. Okay, I always say, okay, what do you bring to the table, right? However, there's something else I want to address, and that is assimilation. And I'm talking about a woman that has kids. They're not the bad guy, okay? I'm not trying to make women out to be the bad guy if they already have kids and stuff like that. They're not. But there is a challenge. There is an inherent challenge in her assimilation. And I'll tell you why. See, a lot of times, the women that are in that position, they start thinking, well, it takes a special man to be... No. We're not doing that. Okay, we're not doing that, because it's not about a special man or whatever. Okay, it's not about that. Okay, it is about assimilation. It's about bloodline. It's about heritage. It's about all these different things. Okay, even in the animal kingdom. Okay, even in the animal kingdom, you have a lion. He takes over a pride. He kills all the newborn cubs. Right? It's his bloodline. Right? Because they already know that cub from the other alpha lion, okay, is going to grow up, and when he's healthy and strong and fast and all, he's going to kill him. Okay, that's just by instinct alone, right? But here's what I'm saying, and don't say, oh well, you don't know, you haven't been a step parent. Yes, I have. Okay, yes, I have. I've raised boys from 4 years old all the way up to teenager, up to 15. So yeah, I know. I never refer to another child, oh, that's my stepson or anything like that. I don't do that. Okay, I don't use those titles. I don't use the step thing, right? But here's the thing. Going back to split loyalties. If something goes awry, first of all, a child growing up already knows, okay, this is not my father, right? They may have respect, they may not. But what happens most of the time? And before you women go and guess, talk to a number of men who played the stepfather. Okay, don't just this one guy. No, talk to a number of men who played the stepfather. Okay, who played that role, and you'll find most of the time it doesn't work out. Even when he's loving, even when he's because something happens in the boy, right? Testosterone. Okay, getting maturity. They start thinking in their head, I can take this guy. They start thinking in their head, something goes wrong or whatever. When they get a little bit bigger, okay, it's a little easier when they're 6, 7, 8 years old. But when they become a teenager, 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever, this is not my real father, okay? When you do something that they don't like. And no, I'm not talking about me and the stepson having a problem. I'm saying in general, right? There's something in them that's going to test them. Even your natural child, your natural son kind of has that feeling, kind of has that, that's when their little, the testicles drop and they think that they can, take their old man, basically, right? This is what happens with, ask men, okay? Ask men, they'll tell you, okay? Ask men. I know if you don't understand it, you don't get it, talk to some men who understand, who raise boys, whether it's theirs or stepsons, okay? Ask them. So, here's the thing. A guy, if Mr. Special Guy takes care of your sons and raise them as his own, which many men have done, and then something happens, they have a disagreement. Okay? Your husband and your natural son, not his natural son. And they have a disagreement. He's 15, 16, 17 years old and all that, right? And he's like, okay, you got to go. Because there's only going to be one person ruling this house or ruling this land. Who are you going to decide? Who are you going to decide with? What's going to be your decision? What are you going to do? Split loyalties. Now, I already know most of you women are going to be like, well, I know that you're going to choose your child. You're going to choose your natural child, right? That's the Western thought. That's how it goes. You're going to choose your natural child, okay? But that's the question. That's the question. You have split. Now, can you fully 100% assimilate to that man? Can you fully 100% say, this is my husband, this is my covering, sorry son, you gotta go. If you can't abide by his rule, you gotta go. Very few women are able to do that. Because why? The mother instinct is gonna kick in. It's gonna be like, well, that's my child, they need me. What are they gonna do without me? And then they start trying to flip it. Why would a man, want me to choose between my child? I'm never gonna, all that stuff gonna come. I'm never gonna choose a man over my children, da-da-da. Okay, I get it. But you're only proving my point. Split loyalty. You're only proving my point. Split loyalty. That's why it's hard for a man to take in a woman and her children. I'm not saying men don't do it. They do it all the time, okay? But I'm just saying the Hebrew man in this truth, that's why it is hard, okay? I'm not saying they won't. They can, and some will, okay? That's fine. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm saying it's his personal choice. Talking about the man. It's his personal choice. And what you got to understand is that, can you 100% assimilate? Period. Here's a test. If the man says, okay, you need to send the children to their father, can you do it? Most of you already know you cannot do it. So the question is, can you 100% assimilate? No, don't bring up excuses. Well, why would he say this and that, and why would I don't understand, and I don't want to. Don't need the emotional stuff, okay? Don't need that. Just thinking of it logically. Can you do it? It's a simple yes you can or you cannot. So if you can't send them, okay, don't get me wrong. The guy may not even be asking you that. So don't get all in your feelings. And the fact that I even put that question out there and you get emotional, that tells you all you need to know. That tells you all you need to know. That means, nah, I can't really fully assimilate to that man. I really can't. Because if he asked me to send my children back to the father, then I can't do that. Now, I know some people say, well, father's in jail or father's dead or what. That's different. Okay? That's different. All right? But I'm just saying, if that is even an option. Okay, now, if it's an option, if it's to the point where the child cannot go to the father for some extenuating circumstance, okay, then you better make sure that you and your children can fully assimilate. That you sit down and you talk to your children and you say, hey, listen, I'm about to get married to this man and he's the head of the house and his rules go. And if you break the rule, okay, I'm going to side with him if you break the rule, child, right? Because they will play the divide and conquer game. It happens all the time. Okay? And then you get your emotional heartstrings in and you're thinking, well, it's my child and all that. I get it. But they're going to, when they know it works, and then children have even said, okay, now it haven't happened to me, but children have even said, oh, they get in a fight with the man because now he's just stepdad. But when he's paying all the bills and going to these, football practice and all this other stuff and spending his money and taking care of you and all that, he was dad. But before he was but now he's stepdad because you're mad. Talking about the child because you're mad. Okay, but here's the thing. You're going to have to say that there's not going to be any divide and conquer. You're going to have to let them know right from the rip, hey, listen, this is how it's going to be. This new set of rules, new sheriff in town. This is how it's going to go because it has to be in order. There's got to be order or else the home is going to fall apart. You see? That's what I'm saying. The home will fall apart because there's a power struggle. Okay? A power struggle. You get a young man, he get a little testosterone, he starts sticking out his chest, he thinks he's Superman now, he wants to take over the home. And I'm gonna tell you right now, a Hebrew man, he cannot lose control of his home. He cannot afford to lose control of his home. Let me explain something. The men already understand. Let me explain something to the women. If a young man buck up, he's 15, 16, 17, whatever, he bucks up and gets in a man's face, and now let me do you a favor, it doesn't matter if it's his natural son or not, he cannot back down. He cannot afford to lose the confrontation. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking to you women. The guys already get it. He cannot afford to lose the confrontation. It doesn't matter whether it's his child or not. Okay, you understand that? Because then it's upside down, it's order. I had a friend of mine in the world, he's like, I will not lose a fight to my son. I don't care if I have to hit him with my car. I'm not losing a fight with my son. Period. You can't. You can't afford to. Okay? You cannot afford to. He has to get to maturity to where he won't even think, okay, I'm gonna take out the old man. He's got to get to a level of maturity. But in those formidable years, the 14 to 19, 20 years old, those years, it happens. You can deal with as much love all you want. People are, well, that won't happen. Yes, it happens all the time. Okay? It happens all the time, all over the place, where the young man, natural or not, feels some type of way. It don't always result into a conflict, because one or two things happen. He feels that way until it boils to a head, and he challenges. Okay, he challenges the man of the house, father or not, challenges the man of the house, or he left the house before that happens. Okay, now obviously, yeah, there's some kids who have honor and respect, but you gotta. That's got to be bred from day one, okay? That's got to be from the womb all the way up, where there's constant reverence for the man of the house, and you have a better shot where you don't have to worry about him challenging and all that. But back to what I was saying, I'm saying, ladies, it's a serious conversation. It's not something that you get mad at the man about or anything like that. It's something that you need to check within yourself. Can I fully submit to this man? Because if a confrontation happens between the man and your child, who are you going to side with? Okay? Who are you going to side with? Because you have to put yourself in that place. Okay, so what if it was his natural child and there's still a conflict? Who are you going to side with? Okay, now it's not his natural child. Who are you going to side with? You see what I'm saying? So it's a very tough decision. There's many men out there who poured in a lot of love and time and devotion into kids that were not their own. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and you don't know until you get there. You don't know. No guarantees. You don't know. So you guys got to think about that. But let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. Okay? Let's chop it up. All right, I went to there was some family counseling. I sat in on resolving conflict and with the kids and stuff like that. And I'm sitting around and I'm listening to some of these stories, right? Broken homes, mom, dad not together and all that. And most of the time the kid is with mom, right? I'm listening to this one lady, and she's talking about my son. And I went to multiple sessions, right? And I'm just listening. And she goes, yeah, my son and my ex-husband, they get into it from time to time. He's a teenager, okay? 16, 17, getting to 18. He's still home with mom and all that. And before she got to this particular story, she was talking about how her son is out of control, right? And how her son won't listen to her. And sometimes she gets a little bit afraid, things like that. Ladies, okay, when you don't have your head, when you don't have a head, when he doesn't have his father in his life, a strong father figure in his life and stuff like that, that son can run over you. Okay, once testosterone gets in and he realizes you really don't have strength, you're really just a bunch of empty threats and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, there's some strong mothers out there who will put the skibbity paps on them, and I understand that. There's some, but most of them are not. Come on. Most women are not like that, okay? So, When a son, I'm telling you from the male perspective, when they figure out as a teenager, they figure out mom ain't gonna really do anything, they're gonna run the house. They're gonna take over the household. They're gonna take over the household. And ladies, I want you to pay attention to the comments from the men, okay, that's gonna be coming from this video. Pay attention. So, when young men, when they get like that, they need a structure. They need that strong figure, that male figure, to figure out how to be a man, how to rein it in a little bit, to rein in that rage a little bit, to rein in that testosterone a little bit, to control it. That's what they need. Okay? So your sympathetic pleas to a young man is not going to always work. You're crying, oh, why are you doing me like this? It doesn't always work. Not with a boy, not with a male. It's not going to always work. See, men, we speak the same language. Okay, so she's complaining that, her son's out of control. She can't talk to him and all this other stuff. And then she flips the script and she says, yeah, my ex-husband and my son, they got into it and stuff like that. And then my son, got into my ex-husband's face or whatever. And my ex-husband just clocked him, and I was like, oh my God, why would he do that or whatever? And I'm just listening. I'm like, that's what he had to do. What are you talking about? His son can't get in his face and he's going to back down and then try to reason with them and all that. No, my son get in my face, skibbity paps. It's that simple. It's that simple. You can't get in my face, okay? Especially I didn't get in your face. You can't do. Sorry, ladies, that's how it goes. That man could not afford to lose that confrontation. See, son got beside himself and thought he can take dad. But dad put some of that old man's strength on him and gave him a good old-fashioned. Ladies, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to get you to understand, okay? I'm just trying to get you to understand. That is why it can be challenging for a guy, okay? It's already challenging enough with his own seed. It's really challenging for another. I've already been there, okay? So you can't say, oh, well, you haven't. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Okay? Yes, I have. And no, I didn't get in some fist fight with my stepson or anything like that. No, I didn't. It's okay. But I'm saying I see it all the time, okay? I know other men. I've been in a situation, okay? I've been in conflicts where we didn't agree, okay? Now, fortunately, I never got that "you're not my real dad" retort. I didn't get that. But what I'm saying is that you just never know. Here's the question, and let me lay it at your feet one more time. If something, can you fully assimilate? Can you fully assimilate? Meaning, if something goes down between that man and your son, or I guess you could throw daughter in there too, but it mainly comes from sons. From that man and your son, who are you going to side with? And so the follow-up question would be, if you don't side, if you find yourself struggling to side with your husband, can you truly 100% assimilate? You have my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. Put it in the comment section below. Until next time, it's Israelite Prepper, and I'll see you on the next one.